the want ones.
We're now at the point in our career where we need to put out original music. We feel that we have a lot to say, and these past 4 years we've been kind of working on a sound, but now how do we translate that sound into something with original lyrics and original ideas so that people can see who we are as artists?
Obviously it's a little scarier just because, you know, you have nothing out there, but we've gone in pairs or trios or just by ourselves and written some music and brought it to other writers as well and worked with them, and it was a really scary process, but it was really cool to see who you mesh with and like what works for everyone. It's different for everyone.
It was cool to try to figure out how that worked because it took us a while to get to that point. I think now we have that process somewhat down, so we can utilize that in our next endeavor. Yeah.
It's such a different dynamic, taking a song and then just flipping it and kind of doing what we do to it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're just starting from scratch. The album is called Pentatonix.
Tell us why.
Go for it.
It's self-titled because this is our first big release and we wanted it to be This Is Who We Are.
Nothing really brought it together as much as that.
Yeah.
Nothing defined it more than just who we
Yeah.
Put our
are.
name.
Because it's a very, I mean, the album is very, it doesn't stick to one theme, and that's always been our theme, as weird as
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It really showcases what we do, but it's big, it's huge, it's fun, it catches people's attention. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Every single person had a little bit of themselves in each song, and so I really enjoyed seeing that all unfold.
The album does have a lot of different themes, but it is all brought to the same place by the fact that it's a cappella and it's just voices. And so just like combining skills and pushing and pulling kind of brought everything to a common ground. We started working with this vocal producer named Kukurel, and we originally were going to work with him for one song because he comes in and he kind of helps people lay down their solos and works with the vocals. And the first session went so well, so we ended up having him like produce most of everything on the album with us.
He's worked with like all the amazing artists out there. I remember like going in during the first session being like,
Yeah, he'd be like, I had to cancel my session with Rihanna today because we're working together and she didn't want to have a session if I wasn't in there with her. I was like, oh.
they were like,
But
sorry.
I like the fact that he does work with people like that, like such legends. It just makes me want to trust his musical intuition even more. So
Totally.
Like, I remember like going in during the first session being like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, and he was so nice. I feel like all of us at one point we were all like, thank you for being
Yeah.
so great. This
Yeah, it
was
was-
so easy.
It's just such a great collaboration. His expertise with what we know about a cappella, it turned into something really special. We had a little, what do you call
Trailer.
that? A trailer with a studio in it.
Oh.
And so every city on our US tour was
Yeah.
somewhere where the album was recorded.
We got Singapore, we got Houston, we've got Seattle, we've got New York.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I think one of the craziest ones was that in Nashville, right after we got off stage, we literally went into the studio to finish the album. It was the last records, that's all we could do. And we were tired. I mean, it was, practically 11. Yeah, and we were there until like 1 or 2 in the morning.
I think the most challenging part about this album is that, well, number one, we've never done an all-original album.
Right, of course.
It's all been like, oh, here's an original. We hope you like it. But it's like now it's all out in the open. So not only are we doing all originals, but we have to make it better than our last album. So it's just one of those things that was really, really tough. And we had to do it while being on tour. So all of that together really did not make it easy, but I feel like a lot of the inspiration came from the fact that it was kind of a struggle. And it forced us to really like just buckle down and do it, and I think that's so cool.
We do have all different styles, and trying to make it cohesive, we would be like, well, we feel like this song maybe too hip-hop, or this song is a little too folky, or we need to scale back on the stomps here. But then we just kind of came to the realization that if we're being true to ourselves, we're realizing that we are all different and we do have different music tastes and a lot of different things inspire us.
We've pushed ourselves before, but to make an album with a deadline and try to make this creatively, an incredible product, we really had to push ourselves more than we ever had before. But I think that's why this album is so close to our hearts, and that's why we're so excited to get it out and show it to the world.
What's been so amazing about this journey is I don't feel like it's been a journey for our band. It's been a journey for us and the fans. They are so incredibly dedicated and have been with us for so long. And so much of our success is because they have just been there for us always. We relate to them so much. It's people we would be best friends with. Like, they were choir nerds just like us. And I don't know.
or
It's,
they're
it's
in
really
theater.
cool.
They're just so loyal and so nice. It's really awesome. And it's cool to like be doing this 4 years and have people that have been there from the beginning and see them grow up as well and just like
Yeah.
grow with them. It's just really special.
I feel like our fan base is more of just a family. That and it's just so crazy because I see them all the time. Just like they're talking to each other, they're hanging out with each other, they're creating meetings together, they're creating events for each other. It's just it's
wild.
amazing. It's so beautiful, and the fact that like just because we decided to do this thing and now they have all found each other, and so it's a really cool thing, and I honestly think they're going to be so proud of us for this album because we're proud of it, and I know that they will be too.
We've usually done the process with Ben Bram, our producer, and we had a kind of a streamlined process, but this time we got to work with so many different people. So sometimes we wrote songs with instruments, sometimes we didn't, but we got a song that we liked, and from there we utilized our normal process. We arranged it, and then we got together to produce the song.
So, do you want to just start the groove?
Yeah, sure.
And then we knew we wanted Mitch to do the want ones. And then there was a really sick bass line that we wanted to obviously and then the backup parts. I'm not in it for the money. I'm looking for the real thing. Yeah. And then we knew we wanted Mitch to do the want ones.
Nah 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 is a fun song. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I remember, so we were in the studio with a girl named Taylor Parks, and you came in and you were like, yo, I was listening to Walk Like an Egyptian.
Yeah.
And then from there it just kind of, I don't even know why either. And then all of a sudden, yes.
That's fine.
And then all of a sudden we just started to jam to that, and then,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of came together. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I just wanted us to have some just super crazy, out there, fun song that really featured the trio.
Yeah.
But also kind of just, it was a little bit like throwback for us, you know, just kind of doing all these little moments, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It
Feel
is
good.
It's fun.
It's like
You know?
playground
Right.
chanty.
Yeah.
Don't take us too seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's the perfect opener for our album.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really showcases what we do, but it's big, it's huge, it's fun, it, you know, catches people's attention. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh my gosh. Can't Sleep Love was a song that was originally sent to us by the label unfinished, and we were obsessed with it. And we were in Europe and we started arranging it, and it just worked because it sounded very full, but it was still like very, very vocal. And so
Yeah.
we're like, this is the perfect song for us. So that's the first song we worked on with Cucurell.
There's just something so like instantly captivating about it. It's very, it's like almost spooky in a way, but
Yeah.
still really, really jolly. I don't know. It's a really, really cool marriage stylistically.
I remember being in the studio and we were done kind of producing a lot of it, and then he played it for us on the big speakers in the studio.
My
And I remember
goodness.
Kevin like was jumping around and he ran up to me and he's like, I think we have a hit song.
Yeah,
And I was
baby.
like, I think we did too. We were all really excited in that moment. And then we were like, Cucurell, produce 12 more songs for us.
For some reason, I think this song called for a rapper or a feature from the beginning, and coincidentally, at the time, Scott and I were both we still are really big fans of Tink, who is Timbaland's like protege, and Scott was like, label,
Was
like,
reach
label.
out.
will you reach out to Tink and her management because we think she could kill it, and lo and behold, she did it.
She
100%.
sent her verse and was like, what do you think? And we were like, great.
Oh my
I don't know."
goodness.
Oh my
This
god,
is
when we
incredible.
listened to it for the first time, we were at an event, and right after, we were like, oh, we got the new mix with the Tink on it.
We
And
listened to it on a cell phone and we were like, oh my
literally
god.
not even on a big stereo, and we were so excited. I was running around the room screaming, and we had to play it over and over
That's
again,
so funny.
That's how you know.
We wrote Sing with a guy named Martin Johnson, and he is the most energetic human being on the entire earth.
You're
He runs
not
around the
wrong.
room and does like
So true.
backflips. It's so full out. It's
Super
like intimidating.
meticulous and detail-oriented.
Yeah, but he's like such an awesome guy, and he's always inspired. And so we started writing this belty song. He belts, and so he's like, so what you're gonna do is, it is somebody. And I was like, great, can't wait
Yeah.
to scream that at every
100
show.
times.
And he made me sing it over and over and over. But the song just came together so fast because we were so inspired, and it really is just a celebration of what we do. Sing, anyone can do it, and I am obsessed with that song. It's probably in my top 3 favorite songs on the whole album.
Yeah, I remember first time listening to it and thinking, wow, this is a very, very big song that I think everybody will understand. And once again, it celebrates what we do. It's who we are. We sing. That's what we are. And I'm just so excited for so many people to hear it because I think it just captures so well everything that's about us. It stomps, it's claps, it's heartfelt. Scott's belting the living daylights out of the solo, and I think people are going to get a kick out of it.
Some of us have significant others, and we wanted to write a song about like how we can't always be with them because we're always on the road. But we're not misbehaving tonight.
I remember first time hearing that song. That chorus is so special. It is something that it just feels so good, and I think it just captures just so much heart and so much emotion. It just feels so nice, and so I really hope people like it. It's so fun to sing.
Ref goes off. It is such a fun song. We wrote it with
Taylor Parks? Mhm.
She's so awesome. And
Yeah.
the thing is, she had just written Boss for Fifth Harmony, and we loved that song, so we were kind of like inspired by that.
Well, we were also inspired. We had been talking about this
Oh,
song
yeah,
called
that's right.
Wildfire for a long time. We love that song as a band collectively. So I remember we were in the session. We thought about, oh, why don't we bring that want kind of feel, and then but making a pop song out of it. And so from there, we just kind of ran with it and started creating this kind of song. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to the demo and thinking, oh my goodness, this thing is dope. It's so cool.
That was one of the songs that that we decided to go the minimal route with.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the lyrics, we didn't start out with the concept that it was going to be about like a referee and that type of thing, but it just kind of turned into that. And I remember Taylor Parks going, "You wink, cause I'm no ref." And we just like screamed.
Yes, I remember.
Just, like, jumped up so
Yes,
excited.
absolutely. It was
We were
so
like,
fun.
The name of the song is Ref.
Absolutely.
We were like so pumped about it.
And it's such an interesting title. I don't feel like anybody would have a song with a
Yeah.
title like that. It's just so cool.
But the biggest struggle with this song was deciding if we wanted to emulate a whistle sound or use a real
Oh
whistle.
gosh.
Because we feel like we were losing integrity using a real whistle. But we decided to push ourselves and move forward and be progressive. And so we use a re-whistle. Oh no.
I was listening to a lot of like kind of gangster rap and no, I'm serious. I was listening to a lot of gangster rap and Jason Derulo and just all these mix of kind of hip hop type songs. And so I showed Scott a while ago, it was like these kind of, ideas for melodies and for choruses. And so then he and I got together and wrote this song called First Things First. And it's really fun, it's chanty, it kind of just bumps in the car. So I hope it's a song that people like.
And it's about staying humble.
Yeah, it's about staying humble. And it's really fun because it's about staying humble, but the feel of the song doesn't feel like it's supposed to be about that.
And the
It's
content.
really
Yeah, it's kind of satire.
Yeah.
But it's funny, for the past year, Kevin's always singing this international love. He's like always singing it.
Yes.
We knew that hook because he sang it so much. And we were like, all right, let's put it in this song.
Exactly.
We're going to bring it to life here.
Rose Gold.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Scott and I went in to write with this guy named Drew Pearson. And we went to write with him, and he was like, yeah, I have a few songs that I've started, and I just want to show you guys. And so he played Rose Gold. And we were both like, this is amazing.
Whoa.
Let's finish it up. So we did, and then we brought it to the group, and now it is what it is.
Great.
I love Rose Gold. Yeah, I feel like it's like what is the word I'm looking for?
Sleeper.
A sleeper.
Yeah,
That's the
it
one.
is that. I feel like that too.
It's a vibe that I feel like a lot of people are going to latch onto because it's very, very nostalgic. And I actually played it for my mom, and she started bawling when she was listening to it, which is so unexpected.
that's
But yeah,
awesome.
it really is beautiful lyrically and musically.
When I was a kid, I heard on the radio this song called "If I Ever Fall in Love" by Shy, and I was completely obsessed with it. It was like the first R&B song that I fell in love with. And we were filming something, and Jason Derulo was there, and Kevin walks into his dressing room, and we're all like,
Well, wait. First of all, I didn't walk into the dressing room. He was outside practicing his dance moves.
Oh,
So I
okay.
went up to him and I said, hey, I really love your music, really inspired by everything you do, and I've been a fan of you for a long time. And he's like, oh man, Pentatonix, I definitely know you guys. Let's definitely collaborate.
Yeah, so we got on a phone call, and the first idea I pitched, I was like, can we do this song that I've loved forever called If I Ever Fall in Love? And he was like, I love that song, no more ideas, we're not doing anything else, we're doing that. And we were like, okay, great, that's awesome. And then we got in the studio and knocked it out.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites on the album. It's amazing.
Correct.
Whoa. Avi and I wrote this with CJ Barron and Talay Riley, and we wrote it in probably an hour.
Yeah.
I feel like the funny
Yeah.
thing.
I
get it.
It was super, super quick.
It was so fast.
The funny thing about it, though, other than being like a really strong song, I feel like the fans noticed too because we put it in the documentary and everybody was like, "Where is Cracked? I want this."
Yeah.
song
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
It's
Which
funny,
is
we were
really
debating
exciting.
putting it on the album, but then after all the buzz after the documentary,
Yeah, we were
everyone was
like,
like,
well.
cracked. Everyone's Twitter names were cracked, can't wait. We were like, well, it's going on the album.
Yeah.
But we ended up fully producing it, and it turned out so epic.
Yeah.
Songwriting's obviously it's a very vulnerable process for me, but I had never really done it with anyone else before. It's always been like me in my journal, like writing a bunch of lyrics. So it was with Kevin and Audra May, who's like the nicest, most open person ever.
Oh my
We
god.
love
I like felt very comfortable with her, and I was like, I have this idea that I like kind of, believe in. I don't know. It's just like I had like written out the entire song, but didn't know how to like really produce it and make it really special. And I had it more like bubbly Imogen, and then Kevin brought in all the beats, and so it completely rerouted how I expected the song to go. But it was obviously really amazing and brought it to where it needed to be. So Kevin really helped with all that a lot, and
It was a tag team.
it was
It was a tag team.
A tag team.
It was a tag team.
They tag teamed
We
Audra
tag
May.
teamed.
We tag teamed.
That's
with
we tag
each other
Oh, that's
for the song.
bad. So, I love Boyz II Men. Absolutely love them. One of my favorite groups of all time. Used to listen to them when I was a kid. And I really wanted a song that was like that, but also I was listening to a lot of Toto, and I really am inspired by them too. And so I was thinking, how do you write a song that kind of combines both of what they do? And so I remember I showed the idea to like a couple people before, and then Kirsty and I got into the studio with Audra and just started trying to complete this song. And we just wanted it to be 5-part harmony, really simple, just an easy melody that people could understand.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just kind of that's what it was. And I hope it's something that people just listen to and say, oh,
My heart.
I remember Audra May and I were like finessing some of the lyrics, and Kevin was
Yes.
laying down the parts, and we would like be talking about how the lyrics should go. And then I remember there was one point we were both like,
oh my gosh, I
and
remember.
started like
Yes,
tearing up, and we like
absolutely,
yelled at Kevin,
absolutely.
Kevin, you have to change it to
Must be a
this,
thing. Yes.
which I feel
Must
like
be a
it's a
thing.
theme in the group because every
Absolutely,
time
yeah.
Audra May
'Cause
helps us
every
write lyrics,
single-
we're all crying.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll get to that. We had a big moment with Audra May.
When like y'all wrote that, you're the glow in a priceless work of art, and I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
We changed
very,
it.
very
Well, and
good.
then in the first verse, it's talking about like the people individually, how they work together, and in the second time, it comes like how like we belong together and our heartbeats are what are special, as opposed to just like mine or yours. And so I don't know what we were talking about. We were just like chewing up thinking about it, and we were like, this could apply to so many things, like. If someone's sick or someone's like gone or not with them, and
or
we were just like, oh my
graduations or-
goodness, this is gonna be special.
Scott and I worked on New Year's Day with Kevin and Martin Johnson again, and it was just a really special song. I feel like we've never really done a song like that before. It's very like unifying is a good word for
An
it.
epic.
An epic, and it's
Emotional.
about kind of letting the past go and starting anew, quite literally, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
I feel like Martin's really great, like with Sing and with New Year's Day. When they brought the demos back, I was like, wow, that sounds like such an amazing, cohesive song. Like, I was
Yeah.
just like, I could totally hear this, like, on the radio, or like if another artist had ever written that song, I'd be like, oh, totally, that's a great song. It just felt great. It just felt
Yeah.
really good. I remember listening to the demo of New Year's Day and being like, that's incredible. Like, that's so amazing, and I was so excited.
And it was so funny because at the beginning of it, we weren't totally all on the same page. I was like, wait, is this a seasonal song? But then we all realized it was just like a metaphor for new beginnings.
Totally.
And then all of a sudden it had such an impact. And we finished all the lyrics, and the lyrics turned out so great. I can't even explain. It's one of the songs I'm most proud of being a part of. There's a sense of nostalgia that comes with it. Like I wish it was my senior high school song.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
it's just so beautiful and so epic, and every time I listen to it on good headphones and I'm like in a mood, I'll just like start crying. It really moves me. Hold on tight to fragile hearts and keep our friends forever by our side. I'm done. That's where it gets me. Yeah. So recently my sister had a kid, Landon, and I was like a uncle, and it felt so cool to be an uncle and have like this little kid added to our family. And so it had happened just a few days before that, so that was on the mind. And we got with Audra May, and we were randomly talking about babies because she has a little nephew, and we were like talking about how we're obsessed with showing pictures of our nephew to people, like that annoying parent. And then we kind of got into it, and we started just. I literally lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Bawling.
We started bawling.
We
Basically,
started crying.
I was gonna get there. But anyways, we started talking about how amazing that is, and we wanted to write a lullaby. And I am obsessed with the song "Goodnight, My Angel" by Billy Joel, and so we kind of based it off that. And we wanted to write a song like that, and we started just fleshing out lyrics. And Mitch came up with this beautiful chord progression. And then I remember there was a point in the session where we were looking for one more lyric, the last lyric of the song, and it was like, "We all have our nightmares, blank, blank, blank," and we couldn't think of anything. And then Audra May goes, "We all have our nightmares, even me, my dear." And both of us go, "Oh!" And we just start crying so hard.
And
that
then we couldn't stop.
We couldn't stop crying. We were like so inspired because we were already in we had just had an hour emotional talk about our parents and how much we love them and blah, blah, blah. And so it hit home. And we had to go out and take a 10-minute break because we were a mess. But yeah, that song is so special. And when we wrote it, we heard Avi's voice on it because Avi can capture emotion really well, especially in a ballad. And so I remember we were talking about it, and Avi goes, "But didn't you write it? Wasn't it inspired by your nephew? Don't you want to sing it?" And I was like, "No, I hear your voice on it. I really want you to sing it." And it's just such a great closer to the album.
Yeah, when they asked me to sing it, I was really honored. I was really touched about it, but I was also like, "Oh man, I don't want to take this away from Scott. What a beautiful moment." But when I sang about it, I was thinking about it to myself. I was like, I want to be able to sing this to my kids someday. It's honestly just such a beautiful song, and I was just so honored to be able to sing it.